We in the building. We in the building. We in the building. We in the building, bitch. We in the building. Finally! Finally, RZeroB and PTA have come back to BGN, which means that finally RZeroB and PTA have come back to Giants Talk. Now, in today's show, you have, without a shadow of a doubt, the most two electrifying men in all of New York Giants entertainment. You have my guy, the sexy man of chocolate, PTA. And you have the jabroni beating Cowboy, Philadelphia Eagle, and Washington football team, Commanders, pie eating, trail blazing, eyeball raising, put your pedal to the metal, put your foot on the gas, no stop it, because PTA and RZeroB are going to whoop your candy ass. Now, in today's show, we're going to be talking about the freaking leg master, Saquon Barkley. We're going to be talking fifth-year option, Daniel Jones. We'll talk about some of the coaches, and we're going to interact with your candy asses in the chat. So pull up a chair. You can sit in your grandmammy's lap, your uncle's lap, your boyfriend's lap, your girlfriend's lap, your boyfriend's lap. It don't matter. We support it all. The only thing that matters is you get your snack, get your drink, sit down, shut your freaking pie hole, and listen. Because what you gonna do, bro?
Whoa, no, not that one. No, not that one.
That's not it. That's it. Because at the end of this show, you guys will.
No. Whoa, hold on a second. Jeez, no, that's definitely not it.
Okay, no, my bad. Okay. Oh, this is it. Because nothing is greater than evolution.
No. Let me hold on a second. You know, I always come with it. Let me give this. Let me hear it. We take what we want, and after we take Lex Luger and a Giant, we want the gold, sucker. Hulk Hogan, we coming for you now.
Whoa. Remember, this is still PG-13.
Oh.
This is it. If you smell what RZeroB and PTA. He's using the finger, isn't he? He's using the finger?
No, I'm doing it on my own.
That poor man.
Doing it by myself. All by myself, no finger.
I'm gonna have to teach you, pal.
Nah.
Is cooking.
Well, hello there, Rob. How the hell are you? Baby? How the hell you doing, man? How's everything been?
I'm juiced up and ready to go, baby.
What time did you get up this morning?
6:50.
Oh, okay. Well, that's why you got a little extra juice. No worries. Hey, listen. They can't be all early risers like your boy PTA. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna crack the top on this fantastic lemon rattler. They ain't paying us, but I like it and I drink it. Got my cold beverage. That's fantastic right there. Let's get into this, man. There's been a lot of things that have happened over the course of the past couple of days. And, we've been seeing you guys talking a little bit on the Insta Faces and the Twitter verses, and
we've been seeing you talk. That don't mean we give a shit. No,
I mean, kind of, not really. I'm just going to be honest. You kind of don't really give a shit. But I've been seeing a lot of people talking about a lot of different things. And the first thing that I want to talk on And this is something that everybody here knows about me by now is Daniel Jones, okay? I have said that I don't want to pick up this 5th-year option. Rob has said that you should pick up this 5th-year option. Neither one of us agrees, and we're getting to crunch time, ladies and gentlemen, because I believe they have until the 5th of May to make a decision as to whether or not this quarterback is going to get a 5th-year option, extension, whatever you want to call it, on this rookie contract. And I listen, this is something that I can't get over. This is a hill that I'm willing to die on because I swear to God, if the New York Football Giants give this man this 5th-year option, I am going to be unhappy. I don't think this man has earned it. I don't think this man deserves it. I don't think this man is the man. He is a man amongst a lot of men. But I do not want this 5th-year option.
I mean, look, the whole thing with the 5th-year option is, again, when it comes to that, you got to look at it not from a performance basis, but at the same time, the Giants, look, we are all in agreement that we are not ready to commit to this guy long term.
We're not. No.
We're all in agreement with that. Now we are all, I mean, a good portion, I'd say 80%, maybe even 85% of Giants fans are also in agreement that the kid has really had no opportunity for success other than his rookie year with the injuries, with the offensive line, and obviously he's had turnover issues. Now we could say that, interceptions, we could say fumbles, but at the end of the day, you got to hold on to the ball. But he was getting sacked a lot. I think he got hit, and he was in the top 3 for most QB hits in the first 4 years of his career. And I think he led the NFL or was close to leading the NFL. He was definitely in the top 3, I believe. So we could point the finger here and there. The point about the 5th-year option is not about paying the guy or giving the guy the 5th-year option because he deserves it. The 5th-year option is about basically kind of minimizing and protecting the Giants. Because if Daniel Jones, we do not give him the 5th-year option by May 5th, and he comes out this year and he plays well, there's only 2 things the Giants can do to bring him back. Now, we were pretty blessed as Giants fans because Eli Manning never really took a big contract. Like, Eli Manning was very cap friendly to the point where we could have players.
Right. Yeah, it was spread out appropriately.
It was spread out.
It was a lot of money. Let's not get it twisted. It was a lot of money. A whole lot of fucking money.
But it was a very, very cap-friendly deal to where on a year-to-year basis, they were look, they had Eli Manning under contract in 2015 and were able to give record-breaking deals to Jack Rabbit, JPP, Damon Harrison, and Olivier Vernon. So that is with having Eli Manning in contract. So it was a very, very, very cap-friendly contract. Now, I'm hoping maybe Daniel Jones could be the same way if he's the guy. But if he's not the guy, you don't know if he's the guy. I don't want to go into the 2023 offseason debating and having a conversation on whether we franchise tag or give Daniel Jones a long-term contract. I would rather go into 2023 having Daniel Jones under the 5th-year option because you're giving it to him not to confirm that he's going to be there in 2023, 2024, but that if for whatever reason he comes out and he does not play well in this offseason, you can at least get some type of collateral for him because you can either trade him or if he's cut or something like that and picked up, he will take on some type of compensatory pick we will receive. So it's about getting something rather than getting absolutely nothing. Because after this year, if we don't franchise tag him or don't franchise tag him or don't give him a long-term contract, he's on the streets. That's it. So I want to franchise tag him strictly from one. If he plays good, I want him to do it again on a cap friendly 1-year deal on his 5th-year option. I don't want to have to try to franchise tag him for 30 something million that he's not worth. And B, I don't want to have to sign him to a long-term contract basing it off of 1 year's performance if he performs well. I want to see it. I would be comfortable with giving him a 4-5-year deal if after this year and next year, he showed progress this year and improved even more the following year, and maybe even took us to a playoff berth or winning the division playoff berth, same thing because if you win the division, you're in. So a playoff berth or winning the division. I would be comfortable with giving him a 4 or 5 year contract deal. I would be comfortable with that. But if he's not, if you don't know, you're wasting money. You're going to cost. I think Nate said it last show. We're on pace to have $105 million in cap space next offseason?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, something like that.
I don't want to lock up $30 million of that on a franchise tag. You know what okay, yes. If you do the 5th-year option, you know what? Hold on a second. Before I continue, let me just give shout outs to all of you in the chat. I see you, Taj. What's going on? Don Vito's in the building. Afghanistan is up in here. What's going on with your man? How all y'all doing? All right. I see Jason is up in here. Nerd Cage Live. Salute to you. What's up, baby?
Nate's in the building. What's going on, Nate? Chris is up in here. What's up, Chris? Shout out to all of y'all coming and kicking with us. Okay. I know that the 5th-year option saves us a few $1 million. In
a lot because his franchise tag, I think, is what? I think the franchise tag is 23. Not a franchise tag. The 5th-year option is like 20.
The 5th-year option is like maybe 24, 25.
24. Yeah. Now, if you franchise tag,
is
like 30.
Yes. So we're looking at a saving of about $6 million. And okay, I can understand the value in that. I really can. Okay. It does not. What's going on? LGZ Productions is in the building. What's going on, LGZ? Appreciate you for coming, hanging out with us.
What's up, LGZ?
I understand. I understand the point that you're making, okay? And I do understand the implications of not giving this man his 5th-year option. But I'm just so concerned because I really don't believe in Daniel Jones. I'm sorry.
And again, but here's the thing. It's not about either way, right? You got to look at it from this perspective. And I think that's what you and a lot of the other people are kind of leaning towards. It's not about, you're not giving him the 5th-year option because you believe in Daniel Jones. You're giving him the 5th-year option to give yourself an option. Because either way, you're going to pay the guy, right? You're either going to give him the 5th-year option and pay for it that way, or if he plays decent enough, you're either going to franchise tag him or you're going to give him a contract. So either way, you're going to pay for him, though.
Let me ask you this question. Hypothetically, okay, I'm not wishing this at all, but hypothetically, and I understand that this is an unfair exercise because we're looking into the future, right? And we know the future here. But let's just play a game. All right. We give Daniel Jones his 5th-year option. Congratulations, Daniel Jones. You're going to be here for one more season after this one. Mm-hmm. And then the New York Giants go out and lay a big-ass egg again. It's
this coming up season.
It's up this season coming up. It's just an absolute egg. It's a nightmare. Nothing's working. We are getting the shit kicked out of us, right? And we're in position to draft a quarterback.
Okay.
But now we got Daniel Jones on this contract, right? Mm-hmm. So are you saying that if we're in a position to get a quarterback, we take a quarterback, but then we trade Daniel Jones?
Exactly. You get some type of collateral for him. Maybe you get a 2nd or a 3rd round pick.
Does anybody want Daniel Jones enough to give up that capital for? That's where the problem comes in.
But here's the difference. They might a quarterback. I would say arguably. Yo, Brian, what up, man?
What's going on, Brian? How you doing?
When you look at this, let me ask you a question. Realistically, because we're seeing it right now. If Daniel Jones and Baker Mayfield were both available right now, who do you think teams would be calling about?
They'd be calling about Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones.
But
Not because
he's a better quarterback.
Jones is the better quarterback.
He's not the better quarterback. He's the better face.
He's the better face.
He's the better face.
I think he's better athletically. I think he's more athletic than Baker Mayfield. Baker may be better throwing the football or better accuracy or maybe going through progressions. But as far as throwing the ball deep, Daniel Jones is better. As far as in the locker room, Daniel Jones is better. In front of the media, Daniel Jones is better. Daniel Jones is a guy that you can bring into your organization, and he will embrace your organization and what your organization stands for. He won't do what Baker Mayfield will do. Baker Mayfield, not faulting Baker Mayfield for what he did, but he won't have that type of an attitude.
Okay, cool. So
we give him the fifth-year option. We trade him. I think we can get a second or a third-round pick that year, maybe. Because you got to think teams are going to be looking for a backup quarterback. Or potentially a starter.
But if Daniel Jones goes out there and looks foolish, no one's going to want him, and no one's going to want to give up draft capital for him.
Listen,
they're just not going to.
At the end of the day, people thought Tom Brady coming out of college looked foolish, and look what happened. I'm just saying, a quarterback. If you listen to if you've ever watched the Brady Six, Bill Belichick talks about the competition between Hutchinson and him, and how time and time again Tom Brady came in, and it wasn't necessarily that they couldn't figure out which was the better quarterback, but that Tom Brady came in and constantly brought Michigan back under adversity, under top conditions. So a good coach will probably look at the situation and say, okay, he was drafted in this regime. Then he went to this regime. Now he's on his third regime. Poor offensive line, average offensive line, injuries. But on this last regime, he really wasn't their guy. It was a guy that they inherited. They inherited Daniel Jones. He's got some skill set. He's mobile. He can run. He's got a deep ball. He kind of really got a bad beat, but the guy's got some athleticism. I think he deserves another shot. If Carson Wentz deserves a third chance, Daniel Jones, hell of a sure, deserves a second chance at becoming a starter in the league for a different team.
Listen, and I don't want anybody. See, people think that I hate Daniel Jones as a person. I don't. I want this young man to be successful. I really do. Okay? Because if he's successful, then this is successful, and we're all happier, right? Yeah. We're not yelling at each other on Twitter. We're not calling each other clowns on Discord, right? We're not being disrespectful assholes to each other as content creators. Life is good. We're chilling, right? So I want Daniel Jones to be good. I do. 100%. 100% I want him to be good. But just because I want him to be good does not mean I think he's good.
I'm not saying that he's going to be, but you know what? I think that Joe Schoen is going to do it, and I'll tell you why. And it's kind of leading in to another topic, and I'm just going to bring it up. I think Joe Schoen isn't going to trade Bradbury until draft night. Mark my words. If we get Sauce Gardner, he's traded.
You think?
100%.
Okay.
They are hanging on to Bradbury because they want to know if we're going to get Sauce Gardner or not. They don't know if he's going to fall. If we get Sauce Gardner and he's available at 5 or 7, depending on what they want to do, I think at 5, if he's made it past the Jets, he's going to be at 7. So I think they're.
Oh yeah, because the Panthers are probably in the market for a quarterback, and if they're not in the market for a quarterback, somebody's going to trade with them in order to get a quarterback.
Exactly.
Unless somebody trades with somebody trades with Carolina to get Sauce Gardner.
Well, I don't think that a team would maybe move up to get a corner, but they could. But if he makes it past 4. And we're at 5, then it's 6. More than likely, Carolina is going after a quarterback, either Kenny Pickett or Malik Willis, which would leave us at 7 to go ahead and trade James Bradbury. And I think at that point, that's when we'll see James Bradbury traded, is when if we get Sauce Gardner. If we don't get Sauce Gardner, then Bradbury, I think, will get restructured, and he will be on the squad this upcoming year. It only makes sense. I mean, you know what you're going to get. You're only going to get maybe a third and a sixth round pick, or just a third round pick for him.
Yeah, you're not going to get a whole lot for Bradbury.
You're not going to get a whole lot. So it's not about compensation. I mean, it is about compensation, but I mean, like, we already know what the offers have been, and they're fair offers, right? They're third round picks. Those are fair. That's a fair offer to get rid of Bradbury. This is the only logical scenario that I can think of on why it actually hasn't gone through yet. There's no way you got that many teams knocking on the door trying to get Bradbury. It's the Chiefs. It could be the Saints, the Bengals. I mean, those are the teams that are looking to try to get a top tier corner in Bradbury. It only makes sense that it's not going to get done until draft night in 21 days, for 20 days.
I mean, it's interesting. It's interesting.
That's the same scenario with Daniel Jones. Joe Schoen could do the exact same thing, giving him the fifth-year option and giving himself an opportunity to earn something for that man. Because if he's not getting the production and earning anything on the field, you're damn sure he wants to get some type of collateral for it.
Okay, you know what, Rob? You're talking me off the ledge slightly. Okay, you are talking me off the ledge slightly. It is unfair. It is unfair for me to call Daniel Jones a bum, and I have not seen him in this offense. Okay? And although I do not want them to pick up his fifth-year option, and I will not be happy if they do, I am willing to accept it if it is going to be utilized as an insurance policy.
It is. That's all it is.
And you know what? Here's the thing. Because I put myself in a terrible position. Y'all, listen. I put myself in a terrible position when I'm super critical about a football player. I put myself in a terrible position. But I'm okay with being in a terrible position of everybody telling me that I'm wrong about Daniel Jones. I'd be okay with that. Okay? Like, I'm fine not being on a Daniel Jones train ever, even if he's the best. Okay? I'm always going to be labeled a Daniel Jones hater. I get it. Okay? I get it. And I'll deal with that if it means my team is good and we've got a good quarterback and there's a good relationship there and they can work out a deal, you know what I'm saying, that's a long-term team-friendly deal for a quarterback that's really good, okay? That would be fantastic for me as a Giants fan. All right? So I listen, I have to keep explaining that I want this kid to be successful. I just don't think he will be. And if I'm wrong, cool. I'll bear that burden.
The only thing that I would say is that if they don't give him the fifth-year option, if come week 6 or 7, 8 maybe pushing it up to the trade deadline, which I think is week 9, then if he's not playing well, then I think they move to Tyrod for the rest of the year, and they trade him this year, or they just cut him.
Hot take.
You know, I'm just saying, like, if he's like between 7 and 9, and he's just at, like, the offense is like he's struggling and stuff like that. I mean, to the point where if the offensive line is holding up, and Saquon's able to run the football, and it's just strictly on Daniel Jones not going through his progressions, taking too long in the pocket, turning the ball over, not making good reads. And that's the reason why the offense is somewhat flatlining. Then by week 6 to 9, he's out, Tyrod's in, and he's either getting traded by the deadline or they cut him at the end of the year. I mean, that like, they would have to have the mindset already going into the season, saying like, okay, by week 6 to 9, if we're out and Daniel Jones isn't producing, then we're moving on to Tyrod. Like, that already needs to be a pre-plan in their mind.
I'm over here sitting on a flaming hot take, Rob. Flaming hot take.
I mean, that's the only.
Are you ready?
The fifth-year option.
Are you ready? Are you ready for this flaming hot take? Are you ready? Flaming hot take.
Give it to me.
Tyrod Taylor will start more games at quarterback than Daniel Jones will this upcoming season. Book it. Tyrod Taylor will start more games.
You and Cop Pizzle had this conversation.
Tyrod Taylor will start more games than Daniel Jones will this upcoming season. Book it. That's what's going to happen. Tyrod better. Tyrod is just, he's better. Tyrod's better. I'm sorry. He is.
Hey, he may be a little bit more.
Tyrod is better.
Well, it kind of leads us now into the next topic, right? So another story that's been kind of going around that kind of feeds into this, whatever, is Saquon, right? Seems like we've been doing ping pong, the Giant community, ping pong and back and forth. Trade him, don't trade him. I'm happy he's coming back. He deserves it. 1,400 yards, this and that or whatever. Trade him again. Now the trade talk. Trade him. My take with when it comes to Saquon Barkley is I think Saquon has been going through the same exact thing that Daniel Jones has been going on to a lesser degree, obviously, because Saquon doesn't have the ball in his hands 90% of the time. He's not the quarterback. But the offensive line has not opened up many holes. He had a crazy ankle injury this past year, freak injury. You never really see that. It's not something that was due to a bad tackle, a bad cut. No, dude literally just stepped on somebody's foot, rolled his ankle.
Yeah, terrible. Terrible luck. The luck is terrible.
It is. Horrible luck. The torn ACL, obviously, I think there was a lot of different things in that. I think it was stress. I think it was the stress of him trying to put the team on his back, trying to do something, trying to make something happen against the Bears. And he did too much. And, it was that pressure. And again, I felt like he was having to do extra cutting, pushing his body a little bit more to the limits once he got the ball in his hand because of the horrible offensive line play. I am all for keeping Saquon Barkley because I think that Saquon Barkley will provide, whether it be for Daniel Jones or even for a new rookie quarterback that comes in, will provide a vital outlet and stress reliever for either Daniel Jones or for the new quarterback. And we could arguably say that Daniel Jones has really also, and even with the new quarterback, if we get a rookie, will have been a part. Daniel Jones hasn't had a decent running game in the last 4 years that he's been in the league, or 3 years. This is going to be the 4th year. And so you're going to need a good running game for your rookie. So I would see Saquon being a hometown discount dude. Hey, not really a money chaser, because I think with his looks and his charisma, I think he'll get a lot of sponsorships.
He already has a fuck ton of them.
He already has a bunch.
He has a fucking dime.
So he's making good money when it comes to sponsorships and everything like that. He could very easily go ahead and take a hometown discount and stuff like that, and I think be good and stay there. Because he's going into his 5th year. Running backs really only last 10 years, right? I'm sure he's going to get paid, but I don't think that he wants to be this guy that bounces around. And he just seems like a guy that really like a LaDainian Tomlinson type of player that I want to bring a championship to this organization. Right. I don't want to go to an organization and get one. I want to bring one here. And I think he just meets everything that an organization wants. He's a leader. He's respected. That's what they need. So I'm all for bringing him back.
Okay, so here's how I feel about this. Shout out to Jason. What's going on with you, man? And they going crazy in the comments because they're all they like Chris is like he'd keep Barkley over Jones. Facts. Facts. That's facts. Listen, y'all know I love Saquon. Saquon is not one that I will give up on. I think Saquon is the truth. I think Saquon's going to tear this league up for a little bit. It's going to be a small minute because, them legs got some miles on them. But I can see Saquon Barkley, having just a meteoric run in the NFL for like a good 3-4 years, just be one of the top guys, crazy as hell. I don't know if that's going to be on the Giants or not, right? But I would prefer for it to be on the Giants. And like you said, right, I do feel like Saquon is kind of a hometown discount. I want to be here. You know what I'm saying? This is where
100%.
attracting me. I want to be here. But the question is how bad do you want to be here, Saquon? Right? How bad do you want to be here? You've got tons of endorsements. You did not lose any money from being injured. You didn't lose any money because you had all these commercials with you doing the face that you do, talking about how you'll be back. Like you got your bag. So how bad you want to be here? How bad you want to be here?
Because Jason, to your comment really quick, I think that the Giants would still pay him even if he got hurt. I think the Giants, if he was a vital piece and they felt like he was there, I think they would still pay him. They did it. They did it last year.
Well, he ain't getting Christian McCaffrey money because you and New York. Christian McCaffrey. Let me let y'all know something. Christian McCaffrey is getting paid crazy money in Carolina because he's in fucking Carolina, yo.
They don't got nobody.
He's in fucking Carolina, bro. We're talking about New York City. We're talking about New Jersey.
If
New York City.
Christian McCaffrey was on any other team, if he was on let me pick a team. That could let's just say if he was on the Chargers would not have given him that kind of money. If he was with Denver wouldn't have given him that. If he was with Seattle wouldn't have given him that. The only reason why Carolina gave him that money is because they didn't have nobody. That was the face of their franchise once Newton left.
Yeah,
they have to give him the money.
They had to give him that money to keep his ass in Carolina.
They want to keep
this ain't Carolina, son. This big city.
They want to keep
bright lights
in the seats. They want people, customers, fans buying tickets strictly to come to the games to watch Christian McCaffrey score touchdowns. They want them to draft him in their fantasy league, everything. Because look at what happens when players leave teams. Hey, you left. I'm burning your jersey. Like, they don't care. They didn't have nobody else. Nobody.
Yep. I mean, this is true. So that's why, I look at Saquon and I say, listen, man, we need to make sure that, we have the cap space to maneuver the way we want to maneuver. We don't want to have to keep, restructuring contracts and doing all this silliness. So how about you come here and we'll make sure you're paid well, okay? We'll make sure you're paid well. We'll keep you in endorsements. You'll be at the Met Gala. You'll be doing all the cool ass shit because you'll be a superstar. Take a little bit less money and stay here. If you don't want to do that, peace out, Saquon. Peace out. Running backs are a dime a dozen. And my dumb ass has been sitting here defending drafting a running back. My dumb ass been sitting here doing it, but I've seen the light. It's not that important of a position in regards to paying big time money for anybody. It's just not.
And there's talks about us drafting Dalvin Cook's brother in the 3rd or 4th round, I think, or something like that, out of Georgia. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that you can't draft a guy, that could potentially be, a Saquon.
You draft a guy.
You always draft a guy. But
yes, you need at least one running back. Yes.
If you're looking at Daniel Jones and Saquon, two similar, I think, cornerstone guys that you can rely on being like a guy that you would push to be your franchise guy, right? Now, as far as product on the field, that's different. They're both similar in a similar situation where they really haven't performed the last few years. But I'm more leaning towards Saquon just because the running back position is a lot easier than the quarterback position. And Daniel Jones has his hands on the ball way more than Saquon does. And it's you get the ball and you run through a hole. You know what I'm saying? That's really it. Quarterback, you got to hand the ball off. You got to handle the snap. You got to hand the ball off. You got to make sure that the ball gets handed off properly. You got to go through your progressions. You got to make your reads. You got to do all of that stuff.
Jason, right? Look
at Zeke Elliott and Todd Gurley contracts looking so bad gives Giants leverage at 100%. 100%.
It does. I mean, it does. Because look at the Cowboys. Look at the Cowboys having to tear down their roster. They're having to tear down their roster right now because of all this money they paid Zeke, all this money they paid Dak, all this money. It don't work.
They just gave Dak $100 million last year. They gave Cooper $100 million last year. That was his first year in the contract. They gave Zeke $90 million. They
I'm,
got their left tackle locked up in a
bro,
deal. They got their right guard locked up in a deal. They just lost their right tackle.
they sure
Like
did.
they this year they've got no money.
They
You
sure
got a guy in Leighton Vander Esch that looked like a top tier linebacker in the league just a year ago or 2 years ago, and he took bare minimum just to come back with the team.
They
Now,
sure did.
to Jason's point, you look at a guy like Todd Gurley, got banked from the Rams at the time, got injured, never recovered, got cut the year after. I think it was the year after he got his contract. Elliott getting outperformed, in my opinion,
Pollard. Oh, yeah,
by Pollard.
Pollard's killing him in the comment section. Pollard's killing him.
Pollard almost had the same amount of production with less attempts, with less touches on the football. And he, like, to me, Zeke just doesn't fit what they would like to do. Like, yeah, maybe he could catch the ball. He's a power guy. Like, they overpaid for him. So I agree with Jason 100%. The Gurley contracts, the Zeke contracts, they don't want to go ahead and overpay. Now, granted, Zeke and Gurley at that time when they got their contracts, they were worth it because they were producing. Maybe you could question Elliott because it's the Cowboys and they're just fucking stupid when it comes to giving out money. But Saquon hasn't produced statistically to get a $90 million contract. I'd say he's worth $50 million. I would say if you're going to give him a contract extension, he's probably worth like $50 million over 4 or 5 years, or maybe less than that. Maybe like, yeah, Saquon, 40 to 50 mil over 4 or 5 years.
So you're looking at 9-10 million a year for
Saquon, like 9-10. Maybe you stretch it out to where he can make an incentives based on how much time he plays.
Yeah,
maybe he can get up to 15 million with incentives. If you get a certain amount of yardage or whatever, like you make it.
I think that's the best. I think that's the best way to do it.
You could do it just like how they did Tyrod Taylor. Everybody was freaking out. $17 million. It's all incentive based upon how much he plays, certain milestones that you have to reach. Like you could do it like that. And
you know
like
what?
Saquon Barkley will accept that as a challenge.
You just made me think about something when you brought that up. That's a damn good point. Is this the first time that we've really heard about the Giants having a player on a contract that's incentive based? I don't think I've ever remember any being on that.
Talking about Tyrod?
No, yeah, well, like Tyrod's contract prior to the regime that is here now, we have not heard much talk about.
I mean, there's always incentives on contracts, but I don't think it's that much. Like with Tyrod Taylor, I think his base is like 11, but he can get an additional $6 million.
Right.
For milestone incentives.
So, yeah. We need to be doing that a whole lot more, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, you could put Saquon Barkley on a $9 to $11 million a year contract, but have it to where maybe he can make 17 or 18 million per year based upon certain incentives. How many touches, how many yards, how many touchdowns, how many snaps,
Pro Bowl selections, play in the playoffs. Do we want
MVP, Player of the Year nomination, stuff like that? Like you can make those types of incentives.
Yep, and we should be doing a whole lot more contracts like that. I know contracts always have incentives. I know there's like workout bonuses and things like that, right? I understand that. Like if you're here on this date, you get this bonus for being here. I understand that they finagle the contracts, but I'm talking about like no bullshit, 100%. If you want to make $20 million, you got to hit these incentives. If you don't hit these incentives, you get 10, bitch.
And Jason, to your point, like, you're saying, a lack of resources. There's no question that Saquon Barkley didn't have a lack of resources around him. But to that point, I don't owe him anything. I really don't. Like, okay, yeah, we haven't had an offensive line, but you know what? I'm going to give you $80 million a year because because we didn't like Joe Shane and Daboll have no ties to Saquon at all.
None.
They didn't draft him. Didn't draft him. He wasn't their guy. Like, do they like him? More than likely. Is he a weapon for them? A toy for Daboll and Mike Kafka?
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah. They're drooling at the shit they can draw.
At the end of the day, you have to look at, and I'll use this as an example. Look at a guy like Joe Mixon who had one of the lowest graded offensive lines in football, and he's a top 5 running back in the National Football League.
Don't you fucking fist Vegas up in this bitch, because we are not going to compare Daniel Jones to Joe Burrow. Don't you fist Vegas up in this motherfucker.
I didn't say Joe Burrow. I didn't say Joe Burrow.
Who'd you say?
Joe Mixon.
Oh, Joe Mixon. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wrong Joe. Relax.
I heard you say Joe, and I thought you said Joe.
Yeah, there's more than I have a cousin named Joe. I'm not talking about
Yeah. Why don't you go fuck yourself?
Yeah, you know what? Carry these nuts in your mouth. Okay. So I mean, you could arguably say that Joe Mixon.
Got it.
Mixon.
Got it.
Mixon.
Mixon, got it.
Is a top 5 running back in the National Football League, and he hasn't had a good offensive line. So that's the thing is, we don't owe him any money or nothing. We don't owe Saquon anything. We owe him an opportunity to get a better offensive line.
Yeah.
And to give him an opportunity to showcase what he wants to do, and then have him give him the choice. Hey, do you want to chase a bag and go and get paid and rack up his resume so that if he decides to go out and test the markets, he's got some statistics say this is what I can do when given a good offensive line? Or B, he goes out and he makes himself, hey, you hit these milestones, here's some incentives, here's some extra money, here's a better offensive line. Do you want to stay with us? That's how we're going to help him.
I can dig it. Now, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Were you able to see any of the videos that the Giants put up on YouTube for their voluntary practice that they get because they have a new coach? Did you see those videos?
I did, yeah.
So what'd you think? What did you think of old Dave's talking about his first day?
I mean, I like Dave. I really like Dave. His approach. I feel like he'll give you, but he's not going to give you all of it. I feel like he's really reserved when it comes to the information. I feel like it's more like, hey, I know what you know. You know what? Like when I know, I'll tell you. But at that point, it really sounds like he doesn't have. It's kind of a little bit of both. I feel like. I think it's a little bit of an old school. Like when you listen to him, right, and you hear the interviews, like you can hear him talking, but it almost seems like you would think, as me, as being a former football player, like, all right, that's a strict fucking coach.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a guy that's going to ride my ass at practice.
Mm-hmm.
But he may not. But everybody from that talks about him says that he's a great coach. He's personable. He's not like that. So it's good to have that kind of persona. Not saying that he won't get on his guys, but
he'll listen. He will
definitely chew your ass out.
Yes,
but I think
they're not gonna be running laps though. They're not gonna be running no laps.
No laps.
No.
I think it's a really, really good combination between Wink, Dable, and Kafka because I think Kafka brings in a more modern day NFL mind of the type of players, different combinations, routes. You even heard it in this thing. He's even saying what Mike and I put together. So Kafka has a big hand in the offense that they're putting together, probably more than Dave's does. And then so you've got Dave's with this traditional, innovative mind. And then you got Wink that brings an old school smash mouth. I'm just going to blitz you all night long, get in your face. I'm just going to make you panic type of, it's old school, man. It's old school. And so I like it. What I don't like, and I was going to tweet at him, but if you're watching, Pat Leonard, you are a real fucking idiot. You are a real fucking idiot, Pat.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go.
First fucking question for fucking Daniel Jones. How's your health? How you liking the new coaching staff? Hey, Daniel, do you think that it was smart to get rid of Joe Judge and the staff? Do you think it was a smart decision by the organization?
Motherfucker, I'm not going to answer that.
Are you a fucking idiot, Pat?
I'm not going to answer that, Pat. What the fuck are you talking about?
With your soccer ball fucking head, your little fucking image with your fucking suit and shit like that. You fucking little rat, bro. You're a little fucking Pat the Rat, bro. You're a fucking idiot. Excuse me. I mean, I wish you nothing but the best. I know you're not really an idiot, but you're like, You had all of this time.
I want everything good for you. I want everything good in life to happen to you. But fuck you.
But fucking you. Like, you had to know that like everybody knew that the optional training was starting on the fucking 4th. So you know this motherfucker knew, and he's sitting on his fucking keyboard, me, hello? Yeah, I'm going to be there. Yeah, we're going to interview Pat, and we're going to interview Dave's, and I'm going to be at every podium when they're interviewing. Yes, click. And he's typing up, drinking his coffee, maybe smoking a cigar or two, and weeks of preparation. And your first question is, do you think that they got it right with firing the previous coaching?
You did everything to keep this guy up.
First fucking question. First fucking question after a week of preparation. Pat, you should not be a fucking reporter. You should not be a fucking I honestly, Pat, you are on the same level of Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless. I think you're fucking delusional. You have to be delusional. You're in that category now. I'm going to put you in that box, Pat Leonard. Jesus Christ. I listened to that. And then he asked the same fucking question, bro, to who was it? To fucking Blake Martinez. I know it was because it was a cutoff. When you watch the video, it didn't say the name of the person that was interviewing, that was asking the question, but it was the same fucking question. I was like, there's that fucking idiot, Pat Leonard, asking that same question to Blake Martinez. Like, and they both said, what do you expect them to say, Pat?
Yeah, they fucking suck.
Yeah, Pat, I don't fucking agree with it at all, Pat. I think John Mara, fucking idiot, like, should have kept Joe Judge. And
I would just like to say something for the record, though. You guys heard it here first. What a player thought about Joe Judge, an actual player that was coached by him. You heard it here first. They're not going to answer that shit at the podium in the building, Pat. You want to get that answer? You really want to get that answer? Then make your own fucking podcast and talk to him.
Yeah.
You're not going to answer that shit at the podium, stupid.
Like, what do you expect him to say? Yeah, Pat, Pat, I sat down with John Mara, while I was healing my ACL in your facility that you guys are fully paying for, and providing me all of my medical doctors and all of my rehab. And I thank you for providing all that for me, but I really think you fucked up in firing the judge
you fucked us
and the staff and everything like that. You're a fucking idiot, John.
Thanks for the new ligaments in my leg, but you fucked us.
You're so stupid, Pat. Fucking idiot, bro.
That was a stupid question, and when I first heard it, I just shook my head. I was like, "This."
Oh my god! Everybody else, Paul Schwartz, Stapleton, all asking good. Like he asked that stupid question.
Does this motherfucker
the next guy
inquire? Like, what the fuck?
Bro, he asked Daniel Jones that question, and then the next fucking guy asked the question. He's like, "How are you liking about?" He asked about the playbook, about the play. Like, those are the questions.
That's what I want to know.
That great question was followed up by this dumbass's fucking question. Like, Pat, like, you had to have, like, if I'm Pat Leonard, I'm sitting there listening to the other questions, I have to think, man, did I really just ask that fucking question? Did I really? That was
what I came up with.
And then you gotta go back to your boss. Hey, Pat, what'd you find out?
Fucking nothing.
Well, sir, I asked them if they think that the Giants made the right move in firing the old coaching staff. And, what'd they say, Pat? They said they're just a player.
You said they're just a player. So you tell me you didn't get a shit, and you're gonna put that in your column? You're fired.
So, and his column will read: spoke with Blake Martinez and Daniel Jones today.
They didn't tell me shit.
They didn't come out and say it, but I feel like by their posture and their tone and their voice that they feel that the Giants organization may have got it wrong with the hires. Question mark. And then 5 months down the road, later in the season, we'll see fucking Pat's soccer ball headed fucking ass tweeting out, "Oh, I was the one that reported that they loved the coaching change, that they were great about it, that they wanted it the whole time, and I called it. It was a superior fucking move by the Giants organization." God, Pat, I want to kick your head into a fucking net fence, bro. I do. I want to kick it in there. Just
I don't. We here at Giants Talk with PTA and RZeroB do not condone violence in any way. Please do not go out and
no
hurt
violence.
anybody. Okay, no
violence.
violence.
This
no
is all
violence.
funny.
Except for Pat Leonard. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. All right, moving on. So something that I'm happy about. Something that I'm happy about. But when I heard him say it, I went, fuck. And it was when DJ said that his neck is good, and everybody's confirmed that his neck is good. And I'm like, oh man, if this dude comes back and like wins comeback player of the year, I would look like an idiot.
Well, there were reports, I believe it was by Tom Pelissero, where it was Ian Rappaport, that he could have played last year if they were in the postseason. Like he could have played. And you know what? I think, to be honest with you, I'll give Joe Judge and Freddie Kitchens credit. Like that was probably a smart move for them. The season's out of reach.
Shut him down.
He had a maybe a slight injury that wasn't as bad as you thought. And you know what? Shut him down. Don't let him get hurt. They probably knew maybe they didn't know that they were on their way out, but they were like, listen, we don't want him to come out with an injury. We already had one scare this year where he missed 4 or 5 weeks, or 3 weeks due to a concussion and everything like that, or whatever, being in a concussion protocol. Like he had a nasty injury. Like, we don't, or I think he missed 1 week, I think. And we don't want to, go through that. Let's just sit him down. Let's shut him down, and we'll just let it ride out, and we'll just do QB sneaks and take Neil for the next few weeks.
Listen, I'm glad that his neck is okay.
I'm glad his neck is good too.
I'm
happy.
super happy his neck is good.
Here's the thing.
I hope he has the opportunity to go win a job.
Because now that there's really no, like, we can't say, oh, well, maybe he was still battling his injury and that's why he didn't play good. Like, he's saying he's good. Like, he said he will be cleared come contact time in the summer, come August. So I'm happy with that, because at that point, if he sucks, there's no riding it on the injury, people. We can't say, oh, his neck in.
If he sucks,
he sucks because you suck. That's it.
He just sucks. If he sucks, he just sucks.
Like Bill Parcells said, like Bill Parr said, consider yourself sucked.
That's what he said?
Yeah, he said that.
Consider yourselves sucked?
Consider yourself sucked.
Like sucked off?
I don't know, but it's just, I have it as a blurb sound on my stream. It's Bill Parcells saying, now consider yourself sucked.
I don't think I ever want to hear Bill Parcells. Imagine if Bill Parcells looks you.
Well, he said it with, like, you could hear like the saliva.
The saliva. He looked in the windows of your soul and said that to you with an ass fucking look on his face, like yourself.
So consider yourself sucked.
Thank you.
As he gets up from the podium. Any other questions?
Any other questions? This is ridiculous. This is how you tell we're
guys. Thanks for the questions today. Have a good one. Okay, then I got it. Good.
All right. Let's last little thing. So how are you feeling right now as it stands today, a few weeks from the draft? How are you feeling about what you've seen? And it's been very little, obviously, but what you've seen coming out of the Giants building. The news that you've heard, the things that people have been talking about, the ideas that are flying out there, the possibilities. How are you feeling right now as it stands as a Giants fan?
I mean, look, you're always excited, when it comes down to when you get a new coach, new coaching staff, stuff like that. You're always excited. And so I'm excited to see what we're able to do. And we've had 2 years of coaches talking, saying it, giving us a good speech, and trying to give us a nice, amazing picture of what they're going to do. Now, I will say Dave's and his crew haven't really given us a clear picture as far as like They haven't tried to draw a picture with their post or their press conference interviews and saying, this is what we're going to be. We're going to, for 60 minutes, we're going to, we're going to break your nose. Like, no, like they haven't tried to portray what they're going to be. They just said, we're going to go out there, we're going to compete, and we're going to take it one day at a time, one game at a time. So we don't have any like previous like expectations like we've done with Pat Shurmur, like we got much with Pat and with Joe. But I'm happy. I'm excited. I want to see a defense that
how the hell did I miss this?
Is gonna.
Gang? How did I miss that? Bird
Gang, what's up, baby?
Bird Gang, appreciate you. Founding member of the old Gray BGN. What's going on?
I'm very happy and excited to see what the defense is going to look like. I want to see what Wink is able to do with some of the young guys like Aziz, Quincy Roche, this guy, Jamir or Jamar or Jilmir or Jill, whatever can't remember his name right now, but that we brought in from film when he was, with Baltimore. He looked really, really good, when he was with Baltimore. So I'm interested to see, what we do. But I just like the fact that we're not getting painted expectations. And it's just like, hey, we're going to go out, we're going to compete, we're going to play hard. And I'll be honest, like I said, I think I said it to you last week, and stuff like that, or it might be a conversation off air, or that we had. But I honestly think when you look on paper, defensively, offensively, I think the Giants have a division winning roster on paper. I think that we've upgraded the line to a point where I feel like the two major positions, which is center and guard, obviously they have to get on the field and they have to play. But when you look at Glow and what he was able to do in Indianapolis and how successful he was, and you watch his tape and how aggressive he was, and you look at John Feliciano and where what he's done in not only Oakland when they were in Oakland, the Raiders, but what he was able to do with the Bills the last few years and stuff. Go ahead. Do what you need to do.
Sorry. What's wrong with you,
Don? I need to wipe my ass better, shake my head. Jesus, Don.
What's wrong with you?
Don, they make flushable wipes, brother.
Hey, bidet, my guy. Bidets are the best invention on the fucking planet. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. So, I mean, I think we have a division-winning roster on paper, and I think at this point, if Dabes and Mike Kafka offensively can get the most out of, I don't really give a fuck about KG, to be honest with you, but if they can get the most out of Barkley, Tony, if they can improve the offensive line a little bit, and maybe elevate some guys, like the guy that they got, I think is Foster. I saw his highlights with the Bills. Looks pretty good. He's a big guy. I think he's 6'4". You still got Colin Johnson, who's still a young guy that you could develop at 6'6", right? And they could go out and they could draft a guy, right? They could draft a guy or whatnot. But I think they have a division-winning roster, and so it's really going to come down to Daniel Jones. Really, when you think about it, and I think it's Daniel Jones's job to lose. And I think that if we don't compete, you have to look. Philadelphia is all over the place right now. They made the postseason barely made the postseason because the NFC really was just a shell, a shell of itself, to be honest with you, and it's getting worse. You have Washington, which is like they have Carson Wentz now, so it's like they're going to somewhat compete, but their
owner is getting ready to have to sell that team.
Yeah. I mean, like there's so much going on with that organization.
They're going to push that.
Like that. It's like this, and I think
what is true, by the way. If that report about them hiding money from the rest of the league is true, Dan Snyder's ass is gone, y'all.
Oh, he's gone. And here's the thing too: is I think it's hard for the players.
Inside money? Oh boy!
I think I think it's hard for the players to want to play there. I think it's such a distraction for the players that are a part of that organization that that's why they were good 2 years ago, and last year they just like everybody thought they were going to. We all said it like that. That was they're going to be the division winners, and they were a shell of themselves. And then the Cowboys, I think, took a major regress. A major regress. They lost their right tackle. They lost one of their starting wide receivers. I know they got Gallup and they got Lamb. They lost Cedric Wilson, which was a big contributor for them last year. Mm-hmm. They lost Amari Cooper, which was one of their top route runners last year. So now you got CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup, and maybe you got a young guy that you'll draft or whatever. They have a guy on the roster. Yeah, you brought back Dalton Schultz. You lost Connor Williams, which was your starting left guard. Yeah. You lost your right tackle in Lyle Collins. That's so awesome. Now you have to replace both of those positions. Randy Gregory gave you guys the bird and left.
That's true.
So you guys lost Randy Gregory, which was, in my opinion, your best pass rusher last year, aside of Micah Parsons, because they moved Micah Parsons to middle linebacker, if I'm not mistaken. So
they moved him all over the place.
They moved him all over the place. So, but if you don't think that Randy Gregory was helping Micah Parsons, I mean, be successful. Now you got a guy like DeMarcus Lawrence who really is getting up there in age, who could probably not really beat a double team all of that much. You could probably put an average or above average guy on him and maybe try to contain him. It's not like he was like this is not 2 or 3 years ago when he was very dominant. Now you're probably going to be looking to double team Parsons, who may be coming in off the edge, this and that. You might move him to the end. Now Parsons is going to have to deal with some double teams and stuff like that. Your defensive backs are still dog shit. Your safeties are still dog shit. I mean, what are you going to do? They took a major regress. Major. And I think they're going to suffer defensively and offensively from that. It's really wide open. It's really, really wide open at this point. Definitely. I wouldn't say that it's out of reach for the Giants to win the division, because they could probably win the division with 9 wins or 8 wins or something like that. They probably could. I mean, think of it. We had 4 wins last year, and we lost to Washington in closing seconds. I think we lost 2 or 3 games by field goals.
Yeah.
Last year.
Yeah.
So right there, that's 7 wins. That's 7 wins. And arguably a lot of those games, the offensive production was like absent, especially the game against Kansas City.
Oh my God.
Like there was what offensive preparation did you put together? Now you got guys like Kafka and stuff like that. Like there's no way that we don't average 25 to 30 points a game. I don't see that. I don't see that being a stretch. I'll be fine with 21, right? I want to see us score touchdowns, but it would not surprise me if halfway or a little bit over halfway during the year, we're seeing the Giants putting up 30, 35 points a game.
Yeah. I mean, so I do feel like offensively, we could be better. Okay, I'm not going to say that we will be better. I'm not going to expect us to be better, because I have zero expectations right now as a Giants fan. Like I have none. There's only like one thing that I'm really excited to see, and that's the defense.
Oh yeah, without question.
It's the defense. That's what I'm excited to see. I want to see what Wink can do here, because I love me some Wink Martindale. I love that man. Okay, I'm so happy he's here. It's the thing that made
creates turnovers.
Yes, like it's when we hired him, I was like, oh, thank you God, because I wanted Wink when they were talking about head coach, and we hired him.
Who was the other guy?
I was like, get Wink Martindale.
Who was the other guy we were talking about that we wanted to get?
Wink Martindale and
the guy from Denver. The guy from Denver who was the head coach.
Denver.
He was the head coach last year for Denver. Vic Fangio. Fangio. Those were the 2 guys. The thing is too, like and correct me if I'm wrong, over the last like 2 or 3 years, has the Giants defense really like created I'm not saying that we haven't gotten turnovers, but have they created a lot of turnovers where they've given the offensive the offense back the football on the red side of the field? I don't think so.
I was always surprised when the Giants got a turnover. I'm not even gonna lie. Like if we got a pick or it was a fumble, I was surprised. Like, oh my god, because I never expected it. Like, no, we don't create a lot of turnovers.
Who on the Giants defense do you think that you're most eager to see being in Wink's system, like what they'll turn into?
Xavier McKinney.
I'm with you.
McKinney.
I'm with you. Dude, I honestly, I think that dude.
I'm excited to see what Xavier.
I think that guy is going to be a top. He's going to cost a lot of money. He's going to cost money. He's going to cost money.
He's
but I think
good.
That dude right there,
Xavier McKinney is very good.
Dude, I will put him. I think after this year, chat, mark my words, you'll be putting him on prime honey badger status. No bullshit. Like, he is a combination. If I had to compare Xavier McKinney, I'd say he's a combination of Earl Thomas and Tyrann Mathieu. He's able to run sideline to sideline. He can cover the field, but he's not afraid to come up and hit you. And, dude, like, that's...
Xavier is a gangster, and I think he's going to eat in the system. I think I cannot...
Easily top 3 defensive player we have.
Listen, I love too. Although I'm not married to any player on this team, right? I do love some players, and Xavier McKinney is one of them. I love this kid. I can't wait to see what he does.
Can you, chat, think about this for a second. Can you imagine having Xavier McKinney and Sauce Gardner on the same team?
I mean, it would be...
6'3" corner in Sauce Gardner. 6'3", ran a 4.340, I believe it was, at 6'3". Big, physical. You have Sauce Gardner locking down one side of the field. At that point, I don't mind having Adoree'. Clearly, having Adoree' Jackson is they restructured his deal. He wanted to be here, so it was about they obviously like him, but if they have an out clause with him. But I think the guy can play. I don't think that Adoree' Jackson played bad last year, to be honest with you. I think he played really good.
He wasn't utilized correctly. He's not.
Exactly. He's a man-to-man. He's not a zone guy. He's a man-to-man dude. Man-to-man dude. You got Adoree', Sauce, Xavier in the back end. Like,
and listen, we got some other goons in the quarterback room, some other young goons. There are some young goons in his quarterback room. I will give credit where credit is due to the previous regime. We got some goons in that quarterback.
And let's not forget about this too. Aaron Robinson. Everybody's tripping about safety and Jabril's position. Jordan Love isn't bad, but you have a guy on the roster in Aaron Robinson that is, in my opinion, Jabril Peppers, but at corner. Like, he can cover, he can hit, he could get in your face, he's physical. Like, he could very easily come out and play a safety position. They can move him to safety. Look at what they did. Look at what they did in Buffalo with Micah Hyde. He was a corner in Green Bay that they moved to safety early in his career, and he's arguably one of the best safeties, if not the best safety in the National Football League. I'm just saying they could very easily utilize him and say, I like his physicality, I like what he brings. Julian Love, he can play too. I think Julian Love doesn't fit the bill of Wink stuff than like what Aaron Robinson does, but still, like, and it's not over.
You can have Julian out there when on third and long situations or obvious passing downs if you want to play coverage, which we're not going to probably do a whole lot. If we do play coverage, it's going to be
a lot of man.
It's going to be zone blitz and it's going to be like zone blitz if we're in coverage or just man to man. And cover zero
and blitzing. Yep. It's going to be man-to-man. Wink is going to bring so much pressure where if you're a corner, you love it and you hate it because you have to play your man. You cannot let your man go. The line, the backers, Like they'll get there, but you have to keep your man.
Yep.
You let your man go for a second, and it's over.
It's over.
It's done. It's done.
All right. Well, listen, man, hour and 10. That was quick, man. That was quick. So listen, it's our time to wrap this bad boy up. But we're gonna have some real good shows for you guys coming up. And we're not gonna spoil our guests, but we got some.
I was gonna say, you want to give them a little sneak peek for next week?
No. Y'all have to wait. No, y'all have to wait. We'll let you guys know who it is next week. We'll let you guys know who it is.
Let me say this: next week, chat. Trust me, y'all want to set an alarm because we probably going for an hour and a half.
Yeah,
we're probably gonna go hour and a half, 2 hour and 45 minutes.
Maybe. Who knows how long we're gonna go? Who knows how long?
It's gonna be huge.
Yeah, get your ass.
Make sure you set the reminder. Keep checking the channel. Set the reminder. Okay. Make sure you're following BGN. Make sure you're following PTA. Make sure you're following me, and stuff like that. Next week's gonna be big. Now, I'm very, very excited for next week. Real talk.
It'll be fun.
We got some the guests that we've got coming on next week. Amazing content creation right there. Love the people that we're gonna have on next week.
Stuff. It's gonna be
great for real.
A lot of
gonna want to be here.
All right. Well, listen. This has been Giants Talk for this week. Hope you all have a great rest of your day. I hope you all have a great rest of your week. I will see you guys somewhere on the interwebs. You guys know I'm always going to be somewhere, okay? I'm going to curse out Fist Vegas on Friday. That's going to be fun. And then there's who knows what else is going to happen.
Oh man, you know who we didn't get tonight?
Rob's going to be on Twitch every damn day. Who we not get to?
Fucking Billy Mays didn't come in today.
Oh, that's why the show went so fast. That's why it felt so good, because we didn't have that smelly ass energy in here. Cool. Well, that's good. Well, fuck you, Billy Mays, for when you watch it on the playback. You sorry son of a bitch. Yeah. So listen, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this bad boy up, y'all. For RZeroB, I am your boy, Pest the Analyst, who is currently looking through the catalog so that I can find this thing, so that I can push this thing, so that we can get the hell out of here. So we'll get up with you guys later. Deuces.